Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us here tonight for the best of the Farm Progress Show. I'm Mike Pearson. It's hard to believe it was just over a month ago when tens of thousands of farmers gathered in Boone, Iowa for the 2024 edition of the Farm Progress Show. If you've never had a chance to make it to an FPS, it is a sight to behold. The grounds in Boone, for example, have more than 300 acres of standing corn. Matt Youngman, the National Events Director at Farm Progress, told me that this year they had 14 combines running in those cornfields as a part of the field demonstrations. They had combines on hand from combine manufacturers. All of the big players were at the show. And then, of course, you had combine header manufacturers highlighting what they can do as well. In the field demo area, after that corn comes off, then there's tillage demonstrations, and throughout the day there are examples of autonomy in agriculture, self-driving grain carts or drones applying spray chemicals. All of that field demonstration stuff was very, very popular with the farmers on hand at this year's Farm Progress Show. Then across the street, it's the trade show. And this year at the trade show, there were more than 600 exhibitors on hand highlighting the latest and greatest in agriculture. There's a big focus on equipment, as you can well imagine, but there's also a big focus on services that farmers can use. Marketing experts, succession planning experts, accountants, they were all on hand, and technology providers. So much of what drives agriculture's productivity happens on our phones or on our iPads, and many of those technology experts were on hand at the Farm Progress Show as well. Now tonight, we're going to put the spotlight on 13 of those Farm Progress Show companies that we believe represent the best of the FPS. Max Armstrong joins us first with a conversation with our first spotlight.
Here on the Best of the Farm Progress Show, we make a stop that we make just about every year, and that's here with the folks from AGCO. We want to talk about the new Fendt Vario tractor. Brandon Montgomery joins us here. How are you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing great. It's a little warm today, but it's going to cool off.
So. Yeah, this show can be quite toasty, as a matter of fact. You know that.
Exactly.
But the farmer enthusiasm is always remarkable to see, and you have a lot to show them on the lot here.
Fendt is exciting. We've got a lot to offer. We've got a brand new tractor here we want to make sure everybody comes and sees. It's the brand new Fendt 600 Vario that takes you from 140 horsepower up to 200 horsepower in a 4-cylinder engine. I hope we get to talk a little bit more about that.
Well, let's get a little detail. How does that fit in with the Fendt line, with everything else you have?
So the Fendt line, we've got a complete lineup of tractors from basically 100 horsepower up to 600 horsepower. And this model fits right inside a perfect niche where, everybody's kind of tending to go to big. We're trying to go super efficient with a lot of power in a small condensed package. And that's what the 600 series brings. So a 4-cylinder engine, standard with CVT transmission. It's got separated oils from the rear remotes to the hydraulic system on the transmission, completely separated. And it's got the legendary Fendt One operating system in it. Best in class visibility. You can row crop with this machine. It is a terrific tractor.
All right, now here you can go for the jugular on that sales pitch. You've got a producer in front of you here, and he says, all right, what sets this apart? How is it really going to be different from some other choice I can make?
Well, you've got a lot of options out there, and today you can pick something that kind of fits the bill, but this one does absolutely everything. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife. So between loader work application, if you're going to be mowing, haying with this tractor, if you can do row crop work with this machine, even if you want to have if you've got a flood or something like that and you want to go back and replant, this is the machine to go out and do those tough tasks on the farm. So it's really a mixed operation, best in class fuel economy. So our new AGCO Power 5-liter engine, it's called the Core engine, sets us apart from so many other people because this machine is built for the future. So what I mean by that is that it's got the technology for today's emissions, but also for the future emission with only changing a few components. So for example, regular diesel, biodiesel, but the future capabilities of doing hydrogen treated vegetable oil, biomethane gas, compressed natural gas, and then even into hydrogen and electric in the future too, with the same core engine. It's got a very narrow waistband on it too, so that tight turning radius you want to have with a loader tractor, this thing is perfect for any application on the farm.
It's right sized for some of those
right
tasks.
size.
In the final 30 seconds or so here, how can we find out more about it, Brandon?
Make sure you visit us on Fendt.com. Make sure you check us out also on FendtLodge.com. We've got a brand new facility, customer experience made right in America in Jackson, Minnesota with our track tractors and rogators. Visit us on YouTube at Fendt North America and X.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, you too, Max. Thank you.
Brandon Montgomery here with the folks from Fendt on the lot at AGCO at the Farm Progress Show at Boone.
Well, we're here at the Farm Progress Show checking in with exhibitors, and there was a new one this year. PepsiCo Foods North America was here. It's that story about sustainability. Joining me to discuss it is David Allen. He's a vice president at PepsiCo, chief sustainability officer. David, thanks for talking with us.
Thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate you taking the time.
PepsiCo has made lots of commitments for sustainability to enhance the business long term. David, give us a little insight as to what the company is looking for long term.
Well, we're looking for long-term resilience and success. You know, our products are born in the fields as one of the world's largest food and beverage companies. And without the success of agriculture and farmers, we don't have a business. So we're looking to listen and partner with farmers on how we can help solve problems for them.
And is that what brought you to the Farm Progress Show, getting that firsthand connection to the American farmer?
It is. There's no better place in the world, or certainly in North America, to connect with farmers and listen to them about their needs, their desires, the support, and the programs that we have than here at Farm Progress.
And part of that is a partnership. You're here with the Clean Fuels Alliance America. David, tell us a little bit about what Pepsi is doing with Clean Fuels Alliance and how that aligns with your sustainability goals.
Well, we've got great overlap with our joint commitment to reduce emissions and support the American farmer. And so the overlap is perfect, and it enables us to look at our shared partnerships around how we support bio-based fuels.
Where do you see this going down the line, into the future, David?
Well, we're looking at dramatically expanding the partnerships that we have with farmers to support conservation and regenerative agricultural practices and decarbonize our entire business, including transportation, of which biofuels plays a key part.
David, we're hearing lots of commitments from lots of different companies around sustainability and these kind of initiatives. What makes PepsiCo's different?
I think it's two things. Number one, we are in it for the long term. We've been around for 100 years. We're going to be around for the next 100 years. And I think what makes us different is the flexibility and variety of programs that we have in place. It's not a one-size-fits-all. We have different programs that help meet farmers where they are with their specific needs in their specific geography with their specific commodity, which is different, I think, than others.
What are you hearing so far from your farming partners in this journey?
Well, what we've heard this week and what we continue to hear is there are three different elements of support that farmers are looking for. Consider it a three-legged stool. The first is agronomic support. So local, trusted agronomic support that works for their particular field with their particular weather patterns. Obviously, financial support, that speaks for itself. How do we help de-risk the transition to new practices? And then finally, peer-to-peer support. How do we help create a network that allows farmers to learn from one another in order to reinforce adoption?
All right. Now, David, sustainability, we hear about it a lot in agriculture, but from PepsiCo's perspective, is it bigger than just sourcing supplies? What else is PepsiCo working on from a sustainability footprint?
Mike, it is bigger. For us, it's about transforming our business and how we source, make, move, and sell our products. So while it starts with the farmer at the first mile, it continues throughout our entire business to the last mile. And we've made ambitious commitments around decarbonization, the adoption of renewable fuels and renewable electricity, how we protect watersheds, how we reduce water, transition our packaging to be circular. So it's a whole of business transformation, not just focused on agriculture, but it certainly starts there in the fields like our products do.
David Allen, Chief Sustainability Officer with PepsiCo Foods North America. Thanks for talking with us this week.
You bet. Thank you, Mike.
You can learn more at PepsiCo.com.
It's been a frequent topic with the farmers with whom we've visited in the past few weeks and here at the Farm Progress Show as well, the cost of inputs to produce a crop. Craig Dick is familiar with that, watches it closely from his perspective as Vice President at Phospholutions. And phosphorus is one of those things that goes into the equation that we have to watch.
Yeah, correct. Today, phosphorus has one of the worst price ratios to corn ever in the history, according to StoneX. And there's a few reasons for that. China has curtailed exports around the world. Brazil's not fully producing phosphates. You've got Europe has reduced production due to natural gas prices. And then here in the U.S., we have countervailing duties on Russian and Moroccan phosphates coming into the U.S. So worldwide, we're really just kind of short on volume. And so that means the price, unfortunately, is going to remain high for traditional MAP and DAP phosphates for farmers, probably through spring.
So when growers visit with you and they say, what can you do to help me out with this cost, what do you tell them, Craig?
Yeah, well, Phospholutions is a nutrient use fertilizer technology company. We have introduced Rhizazorb, which helps a grower be 50% more efficient with his phosphate fertilizer. So with Rhizazorb 839.0, you can use a little less fertilizer and save 10 to 15% on a per acre basis.
10 to 15%, that's not insignificant for sure.
No, it's not. Plus with a small yield advantage that we get for using our products, most growers would see about a $20 ROI on a per acre basis to switching from their traditional MAP and DAP to Rhizazorb 839.0.
So what kind of results have you seen? I mean, I would assume there have been some field trials, some on-farm trials, and maybe some university trials.
Yeah, so the Rhizazorb was developed in the 90s by a world-renowned researcher at Penn State University. And our founder licensed those patents in 2016 and has spent millions of dollars in the last 8 years with a very large R&D team vetting the technology and making sure it works for row crop. And we have more than 500 small plot replicated and large-scale field trials across 16 states. So it's well vetted, and we launched the product in 2023 to growers across the Midwest.
We're hearing rain on the roof of the tent here at the moment at the Farm Progress Show site, Craig, and it reminds me that those fields out there are subject to a lot of different conditions, the soil, the environment. You guys, I would imagine, can play a role there too.
Yeah, so Rhizazorb works off of concentration gradients. And it helps improve phosphate ability in the soil. So it really works across all soil types, works independent of, rainfall. Of course, we'll take the rain, we need it. But as I said, Rhizazorb works across all field conditions. Really, all you have to do is switch out your MAP and DAP for Rhizazorb. It's as simple as that. And there's a lot of benefits to that besides ROI. There's a number of sustainability benefits.
What's the best way for folks to get more information after the Farm Progress Show?
They can go to phospholutions.com and check us out there. There's also a calculator where they can see how much savings they could have on their phosphate bill this year.
Phospholutions.com.
Yes, Max.
Thanks, Craig. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Craig Dick, Vice President of Marketing with Phospholutions. Farm Progress Show for us wouldn't be the Farm Progress Show, nor would the best of the Farm Progress Show be quite right if we didn't have the chance to visit with Paul and Jason Kay from KSI. Good to see you two.
Good to see you, Max. It's one of those treats that we get to look forward to when we get here.
We look forward to it.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, okay, what's new at KSI? You guys aren't standing stagnant by any means.
We're not. With this ag economy, it gives us another time to start thinking forward a little bit. So we actually have been doing a lot of planning globally. We have some interest down in South Africa, some interest in Argentina, some interest in Australia. We've been in Brazil. We're doing some pretty good work there, as well as keeping our customers happy up here. It's I think in the times that we live, it's more important ever that we listen instead of speak sometimes, and we see what's happening. Everybody wants to talk and nobody wants to listen.
Oh, that's great guidance by all means, Paul. Jason, how do you stay connected with the growers? You obviously enjoy visiting with them at the Farm Progress Show, but you talk with them often, do you not?
Yeah. So the Farm Progress Show obviously makes it a great way for us to connect with them. We have a great sales team that is regularly engaging with the industry, with our customers and our partners, and that's really, really important for us. And internationally, as Paul said, that the biggest thing for us is just learning adapting our equipment to the markets. The equipment needs are different in Argentina than they are even from Brazil and compared to the United States and where we are here. And so those types of things take a lot of our attention and deserve a lot of our attention from a product development, a sales go-to-market strategy, service support. And so, listening to the customers and how we go to the market and the equipment we provide, it starts with the customer.
Is your product line changing as well?
Yeah, and we have here at the Farm Progress Show, one of the products that we have is what we call our ELA. And it is an international product for entry-level markets to seed treating. And we're used to high sophisticated, highly automated controls just with the market that we see here. But the ELA, it's more of an entry-level product, more manual. I'm trying to take a lot of the mystery out of seed treating and just making it very apparent with the manual controls, training the operators on what to do with something that is really serviceable and easy to operate. And so that is an example of a new product that we built specifically for international markets when somebody is just brand new to seed treating and working through partners to get that to the market.
I'm sure you haven't forsaken your conveyor line. You still have those products?
Well, actually, in that ELA that we have has our conveyor involved in it as the mixing chamber, what we call the static mixing chamber. So that is really interesting. And our goal is to help sustainable agriculture all around the world. So that is a big thing to keep. We've had a lot of global people come look at it, and they're really amazed at what our technology is that we're trying to implement, along with making it operational and simple and productive for them.
Paul, you've seen these challenges before in the ag industry. You've watched this industry for a long time. In the final few seconds here, what would you say about these tougher times?
Well, I think we have to realize that things do change. We always forget about them when the times are good, but it brings us back to reality to know that we still need to feed the people. We need to feed, the world needs food. We need to be able to do it efficiently and properly, and I think it'll turn around. It's just going to take a little bit of time, and we need to all watch our expenses and know that we can't take things lightly and be thankful for everything we have.
We become better operators too, don't we?
And we want our customers to be better operators as well and do the job that they intend to do, which I think they do well anyway.
Paul Cabe, Jason Cabe, thank you both. We sure appreciate you both.
Thank you,
Good to
Max.
see you.
Thank you, Max. Good to see you.
From KSI, of the Best of the Farm Progress Show.
There's always lots to talk about at the Farm Progress Show, and this year was no exception. We're talking seed varieties. Jason Byers joins me now. He's a field manager with the Farmers Independent Research of Seed Technologies, or FIRST. Jason, thanks for talking with us today.
Thank you for having us on board.
Let's talk a little bit about what FIRST does. Can you tell us the goal of the organization?
We do independent yield trials, testing corn and soybean varieties nationwide to help farmers make good decisions on their seed buying.
Let's talk a little bit about how that works. How does FIRST handle that cooperation between seed companies and farmers and the research?
We start out our year working with our seed sponsors to help determine which products they're going to test in our trials and where they're going to test them at. And if they don't have certain products in there that are popular to our areas, we work with our growers to try to get some of those products as well. After the year is getting going and getting ready to spring, we'll go sit down with our farmer members, which are the ones that actually handle our plots and do our plots out in the field for us. So they'll end up testing our plots, doing the tillage, the herbicide, the fungicide and stuff like that, just like they're doing their field stuff. So we get a lot of one-on-one head comparisons that's done independently because the farmers are in charge of it. As managers, we literally come in and just do the planting and harvest and kick the data out to the American public, and we try to do that within 24 to 48 hours after harvest.
Wow, so what sort of products are you testing?
We're testing all kinds of products from about 60 different seed companies the last 4 to 5 years. Ranges all the way from the large brand name seed companies to your regionals, your family owned, also your independents. This past year, I think we had close to 2,000 seed products that we tested nationwide and about 1,500 soybean products. And our area stems all the way from central Ohio out to central Nebraska and Kansas, out in the irrigated of Kansas. as far south as Kentucky and up to the Red River Valley.
Wow. All right. So you're running these trials. You get the results out within 24 to 48 hours. Jason, how can farmers or ag professionals get the data and use it on their farms?
That's actually the easy part. We make our website free to the public. We print the top 30 of each trial that we do. And the farmers can go on there and start doing head-to-head comparisons, look at products that they are comfortable with, they've seen over the years, and then start looking at new products that we've tested and see how they really rate compared to the products that they're used to. For our seed company guys, they really like going and looking at our PDFs. We print the top 30 on a PDF. It's simple format where it's from high to low in yield, so it's easy to read. And if they showcased a product that went well in the trials, they'll take that out to their seed people and try to sell based off of it.
Wow. What do you hear from farmers about the trials?
They just love them. Actually, because they know it's done by reputable managers that are truly independent, unbiased, and kick out good quality data.
That's what it's all about. How does it impact the bottom line for farmers? Jason, what have you heard?
We know that farmers every year got to make seed decisions, right? So when you're making those seed decisions, if you've got a tool like our website where you can go and look at the products that you think you want to add to your portfolio, and if you look at that and you're more comfortable, you're going to make better decisions based on what you're comfortable with. And at the end, if we can add 10, 12, 14 bushel an acre, we all know that goes to the bottom line.
It sure does. What's new this year for First?
We've got areas that we added on in Kansas under the irrigation in the central part. We've added the soybeans up in the Red River Valley area. We've got an API that we use to help seed companies transfer their data into their systems flawlessly and without human error. And we're always working on our website and our mobile app to try to make it better and make it easier for the users to use.
Jason, for farmers who want to get access to this information, what's the website?
Go to our website, firstseedtests.com.
Firstseedtest.com. Jason Byers, First Field Manager, thank you so much for talking with us this week.
Thanks for your time.
Going around the Farm Progress Show site, you might have seen the signs, Best of the Farm Progress Show. Well, the folks at Protec Systems fell into that category as well. And joining us here on stage, John Witter and Chad Colby from Protec. It's great to see you guys. Thanks for being with us here.
You bet. It's great to be here, Max.
Yep. Good morning, Max.
Chad, you introduced me to the product, and you were enthusiastic about it back in the day. And in full disclosure, you know, you hear those guys on the radio saying, well, we use this product all the time. Max Armstrong bought his and used it. It's fantastic. It works well. Describe it, Chad.
You know, Max, I met John a long time ago when he had an idea. And my goodness, I think is this your third Farm Progress show now, John?
Yep.
They got a great line of products and dealers across the country. And you know yourself, Max, the product works well.
John, you must be encouraged by the reaction you've gotten from farmers as they want to keep their equipment in shape and especially to enhance the resale value.
Yeah, we are. It's always fun to wake up in the morning and see text messages and social media posts from guys that just use your products and love it. And you're right, in today's economy with the way that people are holding on to their equipment, they're looking for ways to make it look its best and really maintain it over the next couple of years. So
fill us in on some of the details of what it is and how it works. Is it a wash? Is it a clear coat? What do you bring to the grower?
Yep, we have kind of the three product group of products. We have cleaning products to help just physically clean the equipment, removing a lot of the brushwork. We're trying to prevent scratching during that stage. And then the step 2 side, we have a complete line of polishing equipment and pads and compounds that really work well as a system to make the polishing portion very easy, giving excellent results in a fraction of the time. And then on the protection side, we have a whole suite of ceramic coating products, everything from just professional grade products to more spray and wipe products that you're very familiar with. And this year we're actually launching a new ceramic rinse product that you can put on with your foam cannon.
How does that work? You just spray it on and it goes to work?
Exactly. Like after the foaming on, like the soap, foam on, rinse off, when you're washing, you can put the ceramic rinse in the same foam cannon, and using your pressure washer, you just foam it on with water, let it sit for a minute, and then rinse it off.
Let the record show it does add to the value of a machine, does it not, if a producer keeps it in shape from an appearance standpoint as well as the working operation of the machine?
Well, there's no question, Max. I think everybody kind of knows that. You know, when you see a nice used piece of equipment, the condition of it really brings justice to how well the previous owner took care of it. Whether it's your pickup truck or a 10-year-old tractor, it doesn't matter, right? If you put the time and effort into it to keep it up, make it look good, it's going to be worth more money. And you know what? A lot of the finishes, and I think John can probably comment on this, they're not made for the hard elements. They're tractor hoods, Max. They're not the hood of your pickup truck, and that's a little bit of a delicate process to protect itself.
What's the best way that folks can get more information, John?
Go to our website at protectsystems.com.
Thank you so much, John Winter, Chad Colby. We appreciate it. Joining us here on the Best of the Farm Progress Show.
Welcome back to the Best of the Farm Progress Show. I'm Mike Pearson. It is fun to see new faces on the exhibitor side at the Farm Progress Show, and the addition this year of PepsiCo in that Clean Fuels Alliance America booth was really fascinating to have on the grounds. I had the opportunity to speak with the gentleman who drives that B100 semi for Pepsi out of their Topeka warehouse location every day. And I asked him what was it like transitioning from a fully fossil fuel diesel powered truck into a fully renewable diesel powered truck. And he said from his perspective, practically no change at all. And he welcomed this move into biodiesels for PepsiCo. So hopefully we'll see more of those kind of folks on the show grounds as time goes on. One thing you may have seen if you're a repeat visitor at the Farm Progress Show are the changes to the show sites themselves. We've seen a lot of addition, permanent infrastructure on the show grounds, and these are brought by the companies showing off their equipment. One major one that stands out to me, at least, as I get closer to both the Boone and the Decatur show sites are the grain handling equipment. We've seen some colossal grain bins erected at both sites to highlight the advances that have been made in that industry over the past several years. And it's one of those things that really brings it home that you are arriving at the Farm Progress Show. One other thing that we see every single year in and year out at the Farm Progress Show are connections with people. Max Armstrong joins us for the next focus on our Best of the Farm Progress Show, and he reminds us that sometimes those personal connections are reason alone to make the trip.
Among the things we enjoy so much about the Farm Progress Show is the opportunity to see old friends and to visit with friends like Tony Orlando, president of Firestone Ag. Good to see you, sir.
Max, always great to see you. It's a warm day here, but it's a great day, so good to see you. Thank you for the time here today.
Over the course of the show, you get to visit with a lot of farmers. What are you sharing with them at this show?
Well, we have an extensive new lineup that we're introducing beyond what we've already have been producing out of Des Moines and elsewhere. So we've got, the evolution of farm tires evolves. We understand it from a farmer's perspective. We pivot and introduce tires that helps drive more solutions to farmers.
And you're adding to your lineup at Firestone Ag, correct?
We are. We did. We're adding the lineup earlier this year. We stepped into Regency Plus, which is a bias lineup that we have, recognizing there are some value buyers out there that are looking for an inexpensive solution on front tires for lower horsepower equipment, as well as implement tires. So we've got a bias lineup that we've augmented from 15 now to 85, priced right, 5-year warranty, and it's getting very, very good traction right now with our dealers.
For those who might think there's nothing new in the world of tires, I would imagine you could stress there's some new technology there too.
Well, that's the bias side, but we're really proud of introducing, first time we've done this is our Bridgestone product. So it's a set of tractor tires that we are introducing beginning here in Farm Progress, 41 new tires. We've got about 8 of them that are new on VF technology called VT Tractor. Again, these are really best-in-class tires from our perspective. They're rated for 23 PSI. They are focused on VF technology. We've got roughly about 6 different sizes, and again, tackling high horsepower tractors. Secondly, we have VX tractor, which is about 27 new sizes coming out. Standard radial, has a 32 PSI rating, and again, tackling standard radials for high horsepower equipment. And then finally, we've got VXR, which is a standard radial tackling low horsepower tractors, 23 PSI rating, and about 9 new products coming out in that category as well. So these are great traction, really, really good wear in the field, and also on the road, and very, very good comfort as well.
As it turns out these days, many of our producers spend more time, it seems, between fields. There's quite a bit of road time as their operations may be spread out. You're working to address some needs in that area too, I understand.
Yeah, good question, Max. We are certainly starting to see farms becoming bigger and bigger. Instead of having 2 smaller owners, you're having 1 larger owner. And as a result, they're leveraging their equipment over multiple fields, but also roading more. And we've got a solution for that. One of the tires that we are just introducing this year is our VX tractor tire. Again, targeting high horsepower tractors. And also, it's about 27 new radial tires that are coming out in that application at a 32 PSI rating. And we know that is extending the wear life by 45% versus others in the field.
So one of the best ways that folks can find out about your new lineup of tires, Tony?
Yeah, very clear. You just need to go to firestoneag.com and you can find out all that you need to know about our industry-leading tires. And thank you again, Max, for your time here today.
Thank you. We sure appreciate having you on with us.
Thank you.
The Farm Progress Show, of course, is more than just diesel smoke and self-flying drones. There's technology to improve all aspects of a farm's business, and one of those providers is Traction Ag. Joining me now is Hannah Everett. She's a sales manager for Traction Ag. And Hannah, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having us.
Give us the history, if you would, on Traction Ag, and what do you guys do?
So our co-founders have a rich history in farm management systems coming from FarmWorks back in the early 90s. And from there, they took that wealth of experience and decades of technology experience and brought it and created Traction in 2020. We're based out of Auburn, Indiana.
All right, and I've heard people call Traction Ag the QuickBooks for farmers.
Sure.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. So often Traction Ag is referred to as the QuickBooks for farmers, but we're so much more than just that tax development. So we offer the farmer the ability to directly look at their financial data at a really in-depth level in terms of a Schedule F report. They can do input tracking, landlord invoicing. They're looking at that field profitability at both an acre and a bushel level.
And of course, to do this, you've got to be able to tie in to lots of different components on the farm. Can you fill us in on how Traction does that and what all you can interface with?
Traction Ag is really concerned with the efficiency of the farmer. So by having those data integrations with John Deere Operations or Climate Field View, we're pulling in that field data and really making it a seamless process for the farmer. We're eliminating that manual entry so that we're not having to spend a lot of time out of the field where they don't want to be. We're giving them the ability to look at that real-time data and their cost of production at a click of a button, which is something that normally would take them a lot of time and energy.
That manual entry has been a concern for growers. We don't like to sit in front of computers necessarily. How much work is it to set it up for it to automatically pull in this information?
Sure, so it's literally clicks of a button to get that integration going, and then all that field data is going to come in. We also have the ability on the accounting side to integrate with banks and credit cards, so they're pulling in the finances, they're pulling in the field operations into one data hub, really systemizing that and making it a seamless transition then from the data that they're collecting from all these sources into one system that gives them field profitability and that cost of production, which at the end of the day, that's what the farmer needs.
Absolutely, especially in a year like this one with the margins that the industry is facing. Now, you mentioned that Traction Ag has been around since 2020. Mm-hmm. It sounds like a new company, but you've got that history stretching back to the 90s, and the growth has been pretty aggressive. Can you fill us in on how Traction Ag has grown?
Sure, so we've actually acquired 2 other software platforms that are in the farm management space. So we acquired Conservice not too long ago, and then Granular Business back in 2022. So we've grown tremendously, and by taking in these other platforms, we've been able to learn a lot in terms of, on the field operations side, it's given us the capability to pull in things like task management, work orders, grain contracting, and budgeting. And as we move forward, we look to pull the best out of all three platforms and put them together for a really dynamic experience.
Well, that is quite a plan. Let's talk about how farmers can get involved. How do we access Traction Ag, and what's startup look like for a grower?
Sure. So the best way to start up is to start a free trial. So we offer a 30-day free trial of Traction Business. You can go to tractionag.com, sign up, and then you're off to the races.
What was that website one more time?
Tractionag.com.
Hannah Everett, sales manager with Traction Ag, thank you so much for filling us in on everything that Traction Ag can do for a farmer.
Sounds great. Thank you.
There are so many opportunities every year at the Farm Progress Show to learn, and we love to share with you on the Best of the Farm Progress Show what we learn. And joining us here on stage is Martha Smith to talk about the Modern Ag Alliance. Who are you people?
Good morning, Max. Great to be here today. The Modern Ag Alliance is a coalition that's led by Bayer, but it's a coalition of more than 85 organizations, agricultural groups from across the U.S., both state and national groups that represent commodity groups, grower groups, ag retail, ag biz, that whole ecosystem of different agricultural groups. And they've came together to help to ensure farmers continued access to crop protection products and to help to continue to ensure farmers' role in providing that domestic food supply here in the U.S.
I looked over the list of participating associations. It's a wide geography, as you pointed out. It is all across the country.
Yeah, more than 24 states. Great to have support from organizations like the American Soybean Association and the National Corn Growers, and here in Iowa, groups such as the Agribusiness Association of Iowa, too. So just really tremendous support.
Why is the coalition important?
Yeah, the coalition is important, and it was formed because of some of the concerns that there are right now about continued farmer access to crop protection tools. We're in a situation right now where the litigation industry has fueled a lot of controversy around crop protection tools and has led to confusion about who is the authority when it comes to the labeling of pesticides. And we all know, as we sit here in Iowa, how important crop protection tools are to farmers. Weeds are one of the #1 problems that farmers have on their farms. You can see it right now, even though we're close to harvest. You can see how hard the spring was, and there were plenty of farms that struggled to get those crop protection tools on. And so we're working to help to ensure that farmers are able to continue to use products such as glyphosate for using no-till farming and cover crops, things along those lines. And then also just in general, that role that crop protection products play for the sustainability on farms.
Obviously, it's important to farmers, but as a consumer, explain to me why it's important to Max Armstrong.
No, I agree. So I think anyone who's been in the grocery store recently has seen what's been going on with the price of food in the last few years. It just continues to increase. And crop protection tools are such an important component of how farmers not only continue to keep their yields high and continue to have sustainable production, but also affordable production, right? And so there's been studies in the industry that have shown that if crop protection tools were to go away, that it would further increase those prices of food in the grocery store. And then I think the other thing to know too is it's important that we all understand the safety of these products. We're talking about products, crop protection products, that have been approved by the EPA, that have been approved by regulators all around the world. And so want to get back to a system where consumers can have confidence in the safety of those products.
So in the final moment here, what is the Alliance actually doing? What are you, how are you implementing these programs?
So the Alliance is working with legislators across the U.S., both at the state and federal level, to have legislation introduced to work on that uniformity of pesticide labels around the U.S. So to basically reassert that EPA is the authority as it relates to pesticides in the U.S. And I always like to say that I took a pesticide applicator exam many years ago, and the first thing you learn is the label is the law. And we want to get back to the place where farmers and the industry know that that label from EPA is what we should be following, and that it is truly the authority in the U.S. for crop protection regulations.
And you do have a website.
We do, yes. So controlweedsnotfarming.com is the website of the Modern Ag Alliance. Would welcome people to come check it out. There's a section on there where you can write to your legislators to ask them to get involved in this legislation, and would welcome support with that, as well as support from other groups who might be interested in joining the Modern Ag Alliance.
Martha Smith, thank you for educating us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Max.
From the Modern Ag Alliance, here at the Farm Progress Show 2024.
Everybody knows that farmers are traveling more on the highways today than they ever have before, and that makes quality trailers a crucial component of any operation. Well, we're talking with Daniel Downing. He's the heavy equipment sales manager at Kaufman Trailers. And Daniel, thanks for chatting with us today.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about Kaufman Trailers. Where's home for you guys?
Lexington, North Carolina is our headquarters. We have manufacturing facilities dotted throughout the U.S., though.
What makes Kaufman unique from a trailer perspective? Why should growers be taking a look at you guys?
Well, there are a lot of good products out there on the market. We don't claim to have a product that is superior in every area, but the thing that makes us superior is the affordability with the quality. We are factory direct, and that keeps us very competitive.
And you say with delivery, so it's factory direct and then you run it out to the grower.
Correct. Lots of our customers choose to come into our manufacturing facilities, see the plant, get a feel for how the trailers are built, and then pick up their product right there. But it is very unique in our industry to not have dealerships that market and sell our trailers. We do all that ourselves, and it maintains a good connection with the customer.
Let's talk about that trailer lineup coming from Kaufman. You guys make a lot of different products. Can you run through some of your favorites?
We manufacture everything from a $1,500 utility or landscape trailer up to a $100,000 heavy haul multi-axle configuration. So the product line is very broad. I will say that concerning the ag industry, if you need it to work in the ag industry, you can haul it on one of our trailers. That's the easiest way to explain it.
How long have you been in the heavy equipment side of the trailer business, Daniel?
Well, that's a good question. The company's been around for 40 years, and it started in the backyard of our owner in Lexington, North Carolina. He has a rather amazing story that can be read on our website. But it's been only about 13 or 14 years that we've been manufacturing our heavy haul product that I deal with directly. We have 2 of those trailers here this week. Your typical aluminum slide out trailer for your combines, your sprayers. But then we also have 3 of our smaller trailers here. We have a couple of open deck gooseneck trailers. We also have a split deck tilt trailer. For everything from your tractors, small tractors, to your skid steers. So we have a good lineup at our booth this week.
Whether you're hauling a huge new piece of equipment to a field or an antique tractor to a show, you've got the tools that could get both of them there.
You got it.
Fantastic. Tell us, for folks who want to read that story or learn more about Kaufman, where would you send them? Is the website the best place?
It is. We have all of our product on the website, including pricing, which is also unique. Most websites don't hold pricing, but we are very proud of our price. So you can reach that at www.kaufmantrailers.com.
Kaufman Trailers, that's 1 F, 1 M in Kaufman.
That's correct.
Fantastic. Daniel Downing, Heavy Equipment Sales Manager with Kaufman Trailers. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
Everybody knows about them. They may not know, though, the latest about the John Deere Gator. Eric Halfman is going to fill us in here on the Best of the Farm Progress Show. Eric, it's great to have you along to tell us what's new with the Gator.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We just launched in July here a new Gator, full-size crossover, 845 and 875 Gator that's technology enabled. So the agriculture world we know is really depending on a lot of technology these days, and we have that integrated technology as well in our Gator utility vehicles.
Give us a little more detail on that technology. What form does it take?
Yep, so Green Star Ready is an option you can order with our Gators, and that allows you to boundary map. And we know boundaries help unleash a lot of the technology in our bigger agriculture equipment, driven boundaries, advanced boundaries that you can do with the Gator utility vehicle, as well as AutoTrack. You can order them with AutoTrack Ready as well for that precise technology.
Many growers will take those right out into the field in applications where they may not be able to use or move in larger equipment.
Absolutely. So if you think about boundaries in the past, they may have been mapped with a sprayer or a larger tractor, and really that's not necessarily the ideal, most efficient way for a producer to do that. It may be a little more cost prohibitive to do that, and like you mentioned, it might be wet, might be a bad time to bring a bigger piece of equipment into a field. So the Gator is a little more nimble, allows you to do that.
To what degree can the producer customize that gator to his or her needs?
Yeah, so another awesome thing we added with the new gators is a new cargo box, and our engineers did a wonderful job configuring that box for tie downs, for cargo storage. Long should be the days that you just throw your tools in the back of a Gator utility box, customize it to the job, the task that customer wants to do.
Describe that cargo box a little more. I'm interested in knowing what the specific features are.
Yeah, so if you look at a cargo box, generally you see in the industry some side-by-side slats that you could put in, and that might help a load shift from fore and aft.
Compartmentalize it a little bit?
Yeah, we've taken it to the next level. So fore and aft, side to side, as well as a shelving system, so you can actually use plywood. Dimensional lumber that John Deere's not going to charge our customers for. They already have it on the farm. Why not use some of that lumber to customize that gator bed for the job?
Am I correct? There's a new exhaust system?
Yes, absolutely. So we redesigned the exhaust system. It's 31% quieter. So for those folks out there that aren't in love with the sound of their gator today, they're certainly with the new ones gonna fall in love with it.
Oh man, I can sneak around with it then.
Yeah, absolutely.
She won't know where I am. What are those model numbers again specifically?
The XUV 845 and the XUV 875. The 845 is our gas, and the 875 is the diesel.
Is the fuel efficiency pretty good these days?
Yes, yeah, again, a lot more efficient than larger pieces of equipment. So we know that our producers tell us that they use their utility vehicles almost more than any other piece of equipment on the farm. So fuel efficiency certainly is a good thing for them.
Obviously, the dealer can provide more details. Do you guide them to the website also, Eric?
Absolutely. So Deere.com has a ton of information, valuable information on our new Gator utility vehicles. And if you go driving around the countryside, you're going to run into a John Deere dealer near you. So stop in and take a look at the new Gators and talk to your local salesperson.
We sure appreciate the rundown on it. Thanks, Eric.
Yes, thank you.
Eric Halfman with John Deere.
The Best of Farm Progress show continues, and one of those brands with big announcements right now is BASF. Joining me to discuss it is Jeff Mueller, Midwest agronomist there at BASF Agricultural Solutions. And Jeff, thanks for talking with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
I understand the Xotavo brand is growing at BASF with 19 new products set to come out next year. Jeff, is that right?
That is correct.
That's impressive. Tell us what's coming to the table.
Well, with BASF in 2025, we will be releasing our first exclusive germplasm to BASF, which is really exciting. Currently, there's been basically 4 companies have comprised 98% of the breeding efforts that have been in the U.S. And because we're going to bring a new set of diversity, a new set of germplasm to the industry that's really going to help farmers with their yield and help meet some of their needs and challenges they have out there in the field.
Well, let's talk through what farmers can expect with these different products. What do you expect to see when they hit the ground?
So when they hit the ground, what we're seeing is over the last 5 years, we've been averaging about 3/4 of a bushel increase in our Xotavo brand soybeans. So we're really seeing our breeding efforts paying off. And if you kind of look at it, basically right now the national average is about half a bushel a year. So we're really bringing some market increased genetic diversity and gain to the soybeans coming across.
You know, I can tell BASF has a lot of pride in this new germplasm and what they're bringing to the table here, Jeff. But for those of us who maybe aren't schooled in ag genetics and science, tell me why this matters. What does this new germplasm bring to the market here for growers?
So really, if you think about it, it's kind of like a deck of cards. Currently, what we've been doing with the current germplasm is we've just been reshuffling the same deck of cards and haven't been adding any cards. Well, what we've done with this new germplasm is we're actually bringing new cards into that deck, and we'll be able to put new combinations together. And what this does is this helps create more diversity out there. It helps meet the challenges, environmental challenges that we're dealing with, whether it can be with high pH or we're dealing with situations of wetter soils where we can go through there. And then also from a disease standpoint, we're bringing some advantages from there, from the white mold challenges that we're dealing with and sudden death, what we're seeing more. So really brings that new set of germplasm in there and really helps bring more diversity into the system.
Jeff, you mentioned diseases, and I know BASF has been a leader for a long time on soybean cyst nematode control, SCN. Can you fill us in on what BASF has been working on that front?
Yeah, probably one of the most exciting things we got coming, and it's very exciting for farmers, is going to be our new Nemasphere nematode trait. This is going to be it'll be a game changer. It'll be the biggest advancement in cyst nematode control in the last 60 years. What we're being able to see with this, it's the first BT of its kind in the industry that will be put into the soybean seed and will help bring us control with cyst nematode.
And when do you expect that to be available for farmers to use in the growing season?
2028, depending on regulatory approval, but 2028 is our potential launch time right now.
It'll be here before we know it.
It will.
If we've got viewers who want to learn more about what's coming from Zetavo, where would you send them, Jeff?
Well, we got multiple things. We can go to our website, ZetavoSoybeanSeed.com, or you can contact your local BASF business representative or Ag Solutions advisor, and they can get you more information.
Jeff Mueller, Midwest agronomist with BASF Agricultural Solutions. Thanks for talking with us today about Zetavo.
Thanks for spending time with me.
With the corn harvest getting close here in the Midwest, some farmers are looking ahead to silage harvesting. Well, they could be looking at a new forage harvester from New Holland. Joining me to talk about that lineup is Melissa Kelly. She's the product marketing manager for self-propelled forage harvesters and windrowers at CNH. And Melissa, thanks for joining us.
Sure, you're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
What are you guys bringing to the table this year?
So we're excited this year to be showing off our model year 25 forage harvester, our FR Cruiser. Right now on the lot we have our FR 920. And it's the only one, it's the only model year 25 that's in North America right now. It's a pre-production and we're excited to be showing it off.
What have been the farmer responses now they get to see it?
Oh, they're so excited. We actually ran the Forage Cruiser prior to it coming to the show, just to blow out all the cobwebs and have some advanced feedback from our customers, and it's been very positive, excited.
Let's talk a little bit about what this is bringing to the table. What has New Holland done to the Forage Cruiser with this new addition to really make it perform in the way that these farmers need?
Sure. So New Holland forage has always been best in class for chopping. We've shown that. But the biggest feedback that we've needed to improve on, as everybody needs to improve on something, is our creature comforts and our customer operations inside the cab, and just creature comforts of using the chopper.
That's pretty neat. And I understand steering has been improved as well. Can you tell us a little bit about how we're getting those tighter turns out of such a big machine?
Exactly. So we are offering custom steer on our forage harvester this year. And while custom steer technology is not new to New Holland products, it is new to the chopper. So we are offering it. It's the way to let farmers who are in the cab all day long just have that ease of use when they're steering in those headlands.
You know, when you're running through thick crop or you've got wetness and all the challenges we can encounter in the field, blockages can be a concern when we're running these harvesters. What's New Holland done on that front?
Oh, we are so excited. We are the first in the industry to offer our crop stop blockage detection system. And what that is a radar sensor on the spout that will detect slow crop through the spout, and then give a warning to the operator to slow down so that they don't have to have a blockage and then take time out of their day to clean out the spout. So, we're going back to focus on the customer, inexperienced operators, and use of the chopper for our customers.
That's what it's all about. Let's talk about connection and technology. That is super important to farmers nowadays. Does the Forage Cruiser bring some new advances there?
It sure does. So we still offer our NutriSense system that we've always had, but we have expanded it. So we have a feed to dairy technology that we're offering now. And what that is part of the NutriSense system that's monitoring the nutrients that are coming through and then making those fine adjustments for the perfect crop and the perfect chop quality that these customers, especially the custom operators, are looking for.
Absolutely. Melissa, if we've got audience members who want to learn more about the Forage Cruiser, where would you send them?
Well, go to newholland.com. We have all the updates and information on our website, but we're here down at Farm Progress, and we have the brand new chopper there and also our brand new Ultra Feed header that we're also offering in model year 25 available.
Melissa Kelly, New Holland, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate the insight.
Thank you for having me.
Well, folks, that wraps up our spotlight on 13 of the best of the Farm Progress Show in 2024. And to my mind, it really highlights the diversity of exhibitors that show up at an event like Farm Progress. When it comes to farming, in 2024. It is an incredibly complicated industry, and it's only getting more complicated. Increasingly, we are relying on experts outside of our operation, and increasingly, those experts are at the Farm Progress Show. One thing I saw this year that was neat to see. It has been a while since the COVID pandemic really curtailed international visitors to the Farm Progress Show, but this year they were back in a big way. We saw scores of folks traveling, touring from South America. Largely Brazil and Argentinian farmers were on hand, as well as many tour groups who had come over from Asia and were touring parts of the American ag economy to try and bring our expertise back to their countries. Now, folks, hopefully what we've been talking about tonight has whet your appetite to come to the Farm Progress Show in 2025. And if that's the case, I'd like to remind you that it does alternate locations every other year. 2024, it was in Boone. In 2025, it moves to Decatur, Illinois. August 26th, 27th, and 28th in Decatur, Illinois will be the 2025 Farm Progress Show. And if you're thinking, man, I'd like to come, but how am I going to keep my family entertained? Well, good news, it's not all work at the Farm Progress Show. One of my favorite exhibitors are the Canine Stars. These are a troupe of rescue dogs that have been trained to perform stunts, and they perform several times a day. They have for the past several years, and it is a hoot for the whole family. Folks, as the year goes on, you can keep it tuned to Farm Progress for updates on both the Farm Progress Show and the other events we put on throughout the year. You can find us on television at This Week in Agribusiness, and you can find us online at farmprogress.com. We hope you'll stay with us, and we'd love to see you at the 2025 Farm Progress Show, Decatur, Illinois. Learn the details at farmprogressshow.com.
The Best of the Farm Progress Show is produced by 22 Creative Group and has been a presentation of Farm Progress Broadcast. To find out more about the Farm Progress Show and to plan for next year, go to farmprogressshow.com.